Welcome everybody to the iRacing Esports Network and the World GT Championship presented by Apex Racing TV and sponsored by Pure Sim. We're here for an endurance round at the Silverstone circuit, and amongst all the chaos that's happened in world sport over the last couple of weeks, eyes have turned to the virtual world over the last few days, and we're here to bring you some world-class GT action from the World GT Championship at the home of British motorsport. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath with Sam Kumar on the cameras. And Adam, well, it's been a bit of a strange couple of weeks, hasn't it? Well, a strange week or so since we convened last week. But one thing that's not been dampened is the spirit and the enthusiasm of sim racing. And we saw some fantastic events held over the weekend, and we're just kicking on with this one tonight.
Yeah, some on this very platform as well. Yeah, the 12 hours of Sebring took place last week, and we had a few streams on some other platforms last night as well.
We had the NASCAR race as well.
Yeah, we had the exhibition NASCAR race as well. That was a good watch, I must say. But yeah, we're here at the World GT Championship today for the second of our enduros of this campaign. We had one back in the middle of February at Mount Panorama Bathurst, but now we are here in the UK and getting set for the next one. So an hour and 45-minute race to go, and the drivers are doing the qualifying session, which is probably a bit more important than what it is at the sprint races, because of course it's just one race as opposed to the free 20-minute sprint races that we usually have.
Yeah, you need to make sure you get a clean lap in, and obviously, you know, not make too many mistakes, because it's not like the first round where if you start first round of the normal race meeting, where if you start say 10th or 12th, you might have a chance to it's not the end of the world because you've got the reverse grid as we saw last week. No reverse grid wheel tonight, of course, because of just the one race. Fuel strategy will come into play as well for these guys, and we'll be interested to see how that pans out. About the circuit, Adam, you can't get much better really than the new Silverstone. Arguably, I think they've made it even better.
Oh yeah, the old layout is still pretty decent. It's probably not run as much on iRacing these days. The old run through Abbey, then into Bridge, Priory, before rejoining the circuit of Brooklands. But this section here that we're looking at with Nicole Foggy, who's currently provisionally second on the grid. The Wellington Straight now into Brooklands here poses a real overtaking opportunity now. And then you've got the run into Lovefield here, the final two corners, and then Woodcut, and then onto what is now the national pit straight, as it has been for the best part of nearly 10 years now. So this new configuration is starting to bed in, and yeah, you're right, I'd probably say I might just about prefer it to the old configuration, but this corner remains still one of the toughest on the track. That is Cops. Foggy taking a lot of inside curve there, and now the blast down to Magus and Beckett. It's probably one of the best sections of tarmac on any racetrack anywhere.
Yeah, amazing place to go and stand and watch. You stand maybe 20 feet from the cars as they fly through. We've seen LMP1 cars going through there at probably 160, 170 miles an hour on the entry, and it's so frighteningly quick. Brilliant to watch. It really shows the engineering on display with these high level cars. The GT3s, they're slightly slower but no less fiercely driven, and we've seen a great championship so far in the World GTs this year. Season 7, of course, and just going to take a quick look at the championship standings for you in a second. Just while the wonders of the internet allows the page to load for me. And Mark Fletcher still maintains the lead. Then after 10 rounds, he's got a 47-point lead over George McClay, with Pete Harron in third, Lewis Bibby fourth, and Ben Palmer in fifth. In the Pro-Am category, you've got Mike Gray leading the way there, Mike Horder in second, third is Matt Bunn, John Roberts in fourth, and then fifth is Ben Gregory. And in the Am category, you've got Craig Jones quite a way in front actually in terms of positions, 27 points. Steve Burke is P2, then third is Lars Van Rijn, and then Michael Blake in fourth, and fifth for Carl Jacquelet. We spoke to him last week. And in the Teams Championship, well, it's been brilliant for Fitzstein Motorsport so far, Adam. They've got a 1-2 ahead of Sim Sports Racing USA.
They're carrying on their form pretty much from where they left off last year, really, aren't they? To extend Fitzstein Motorsport, and yeah, once again, as you said, they're doing a fantastic job. They've got 1, 2, 3 cars inside the top 10 in McFarlane, Evdoka and Fletcher. And then if you look further on after that, you've got the Renvale team that's run by them that's just moved up into 9th place with Lewis Bibby. So he's the highest of them. And there he is going through the new complex of corners through Abbey Farm, then into Village. And this is a part of the circuit where you could really potentially get some overtakes done or make a really costly error that ruins the rest of your lap. And they run so wide on the exit, it's so difficult not to put a wheel or two into the grass and into the dirt. And just going back to TechSense Fitstar, they've got other drivers in their midst, the likes of Tom Jacobs, who sat in P25, and even more.
Yeah, it's been a great start for them. Fitstein Motorsport, TechSense Fitstein Motorsport are 95 points ahead of Renvale Fitstein Motorsport. A big contingent for them. SimSports Racing third, CQR Club in fourth, and XVR Sim Racing in fifth. We keep referencing the new Silverstone. It is new to the iRacing service, so that's why we're sort of making more references to it being a newer layout. Of course, yes, 10 years it's been in inauguration.
Looking here at our provisional pole sitter, Ross McFarlane, in the team that we've just been talking about, the TechSense Fitstein Motorsport car. He's just on the Wellington straight now, and Nicole Foggy just under 2/10 of a second behind, and then Oscar Manga making it a McLaren 1-3. The McLarens looked pretty good at Interlagos last week, and they're carrying on that form here. But one mainstay of this series is this guy, Dennis Melcher, is Ford, currently 30 seconds. But these enduro races, they're probably, well, there's probably a bit more attrition in them. Will probably suit this Ford GT a bit more as he goes into Cops on a flying lap now.
Yeah, it's a veteran car and an experienced driver. Ford's very much had its day on this service, but hey, he's still going, and every now and again he gets broken out by the new conventional in society, it looks like, and Dennis is giving it the best he's got, and still capable on his day, Adam, of a good result. But there'll be no reverse grid wheel really for him to be able to engineer a miracle tonight.
No, we'll see if he can improve on his qualifying spot in the closing stages of the session. Josh Thompson just has. He's leapt up into second place. There he is on the screen. He's gone up. He's just leapfrogged Froggy by 0.003 of a second to get onto the front row of the grid. And BMW continuing to look strong. And just as I say that, he's been pipped by Christian Rose. The CQR Club with Pure Sieves has just gone up into second place, 0.25 of a second away from the McLaren of McFarlane. So while the McLarens did look strong at Interlagos last week, it looks like the Audis and the BMWs at least have certainly closed the gap. Let's hope this carries on into the race as drivers are now on their final flying laps with just 20 seconds to go in the session. This is Mike Gray, 6th of the Pro-Am cars, and his XVR Sim Racing cars onto the hangar straight now.
Yeah, Gray's actually 8th in the main championship and leading the Pro-Am category. Let's see what he does then. Craig Jones is coming across. Let's see if he improves from 40th. And he does, he goes up to 39.
Just as I built up, Mike Gray comes into the pit lane at the end of his lap. It wasn't the best run through Stowe, but he's coming into the pit lane, which is pretty short. It must be said, you do cut out a massive section of track when you go into the pit lane here.
Baird goes 7th, and Josh Thompson's coming through on his fastest lap. Can he take pole position? 2 green sector says that he's got an opportunity.
He leapt over the inside curb going into Club, and that unsettled the car, and he bailed there. But this guy, it looks like he's on a hot lap. It's Oscar Mangan. He's coming through Woodcut. He's got a Ferrari in front of him that he probably doesn't want, and it duly gets out of the way. There's no mistaking that black McLaren in the mirrors.
3 green sectors for Ben Gregory as well. Mark Fletcher pops up to 12th place, championship leader. It's not a that's 1.1 seconds off the qualifying time though, the pole time. So not what he wanted. Gregory, 4 green sectors. He's leaving it late to get a lap in. I don't know, this is what we were talking about earlier on. Need to get that one in. What's he going to do? Where's he going to put himself?
Through the final corner he comes then. It's not going to be enough to challenge the guys at the front, but it might be a decent starting spot for the Mercedes. Over the line he goes. That's 34th for the Merc.
Well, he will not be happy with that one. 2.9 seconds off the pole. Carl Jacquelet goes up to 34th, just ahead of Gregory. Mangan, I thought Mangan might have been going again, but I think he might have aborted that one. Yeah, well, actually, it doesn't improve. 59.6. That time is 3/10 off of the time set by Ross McFarlane.
Yeah, he was only 1.5 tenths away from improving on his PB as Craig Jones now comes into the pit lane. Looking here at Harry Wills in the Team Rookie Monsters Audi. He is certainly not on a lap. I think he's just on his way back to the pit lane. But the 955 car's 4th in class, and he'll be hoping to move a bit further forward from there. He's got some pretty experienced drivers around him. That might benefit him from the rolling start. These guys are used to the fast and frenetic nature of this series once the green light comes on. So if he follows them, he should be in an all right position by the end of the first few corners.
Yeah, I mean, there's always potential for drama and chaos in the first complex. You got the fast right at Abbey, the fast left at Farm, and then into Village, and that really does. It really does bunch the cars together. Sorry, and you do see some accidents there. You saw a couple of little crashes in the F1 a couple of years ago. We don't want what we saw in race 3 at Interlagos last week. We saw some almighty ones.
Oh yeah, and even on the restart, I think we came close to throwing the safety car out again. Yeah, that was an absolutely crazy race meeting. It all boiled up. It all boiled over in the third and final race of the day of that one, and it had some big impacts on the championship standings. Here is the grid. Ross McFarlane starts on pole position. Then we brought that to you. Christian Rowe starting in second, just a quarter of a half a tenth away. I messed that up. Josh Thompson. Or should we move swiftly on from that?
Again, yeah.
Josh Thompson you'll probably know what I meant. Josh Thompson starts at the front of the second row with Nicole Foggy in 4th. There is Oscar Mangan in 5th, Ben Palmer 6th, 10th or so away from him. Then it's Barry Bed in 7th, 8th for Michael Evdoka, and then it's Pete Harrod 9th and George McClay in 10th. And you can see it's a pretty short warm-up lap we've got ahead of us here. Lewis Bibby starting in 11th. The last of the cars inside a second. Then Mark Fletcher in 12th. 13th place on the grid is Matt Bunn in his CQR Club of Pure Sim. He is the highest Pro-Am driver in this Series 2. Then it's Simon Underhill, Pete Newman, and then Rich Warmingham 4,000ths of a second away. Then Adam Hedgecock in 17th place. Jake Blackhall, the Aussie, in 18th. 19th for Chris Daines, and 20th for Mike Horder. Miguel Freitas, the Portuguese, starting in 21st. Mike Gray 22nd. Then it's Stephen McCaffrey, the first of the AM category cars, in 23rd. Then Ash Beard in 24th place. 25th for Dan McCauley in a CQR Sim Sports car. Then it's Michael Blake for Team Ad in 26th. John Aegis in the Maltese 52. Then Steve Burke in 28th. Tom Jacobs 29th, and Simon Fields rounding out the top 30. Then it's Harry Wills. We saw the Team Rookie Monsters car towards the end of the qualifying session. He's in 31st. Lars van Rijn in 32nd, then Dennis Melchert in his Ford 33rd, Carl Jacquelet 34th, Ben Gregory 35th, then Matt Draycott in 26th in the Team Lizard Motorsport car, and then the rest of the cars, we've got Dean Timms, Fraser Smith, John Roberts, Craig Jones, Niall Crofer, Nathan Dixon, then it's Andy Shield, Nick Madsen, Ethan Bass, Carl Hardy, Morgan Butler, Chris Coughlin, and then the last 2 cars on the back row of the grid, it's Mark Whithouse and Kevin Boland as we get set to go here at Silverstone for an hour and 45 minutes.
A lot of work to do for Woodhouse then off the back row, but Ross McFarlane's going to be the one that we're looking at now. There we go, pace car is in, green light is on, and Ross McFarlane leads us away from the start.
Josh Thompson had a pretty hairy moment for the final corner to get the race going. Oh, car off! Straight in the background, that's a Mercedes.
That's
it's
Michael Evdoka. That's hard into the wall, coming out of Farm Curve. That, I wonder if he can still drive that straight. big aero damage on that one. So we'll see what happened to him probably once the first lap finishes.
Oh no, Dennis Melcher
no.
also around.
He can't drive it. He can't drive it, Adam.
Oh, he's really struggling.
Yeah.
Did see the Ford of Dennis Melcher also going around in the background there, but one advantage for Evdoka is if he can get it back to the pits, he will get a brand new car. You do get a fast repair in this series, but look at this, Thompson straight onto the back of Ross McFarlane straight away.
This is a great battle that we wanted to see. Ross McFarlane in the resurgent McLaren ahead of the BMW of Thompson, who the BMW also making a little bit of a comeback after it's always been a car that's been well liked in the iRacing service, but one that sometimes had a shortcoming, such as either weight or straight line speed issues and things like that. And yeah, Thompson, who dominated one of the races, didn't he, last week, I think, that yeah, he's now in a different position, second. Oscar Mangan's looking to have a go at Nico Foggy. This is a fascinating battle, Adam, because, oh my word, that's close. Nico Foggy right next to Rose and almost going right into the back of him, but just about avoids. You can see that Foggy's got good pace in the opening lap and really trying to monster that CQR Audi.
Yeah, Nico Foggy using these early stages to try and put CQR car under pressure, and you saw how close all these guys were in qualifying. There was just a couple of hundred separating all these guys, and they're right at it from the get-go here. Ross McFarlane crosses the line to complete the first lap in the lead. It's Thompson in second, Rose third, then Foggy fourth, Mangan fifth, Palmer sixth, seventh, Harrod up 2 places, then
Look, Thompson's going for the inside in the loop.
And he's got him.
Right up the inside, oh lovely. That's a great move there by Josh Thompson in the Williams BMW. McFarlane flashes the lights. Great overtake by Thompson. Is he going to leave the door open into Brooklands though? No, he does not. And McFarlane can't get the lead back this time, so we'll see if he can hang on, the Scotsman.
We did touch on that complex at the beginning of the show, in the middle of the newer section of this Silverstone circuit, and Thompson used it to great advantage. And credit to Ross McFarlane, he was very nearly back up the inside into Brooklands, but Thompson was wise to that move, and here's the fight for the final spot on the podium between Rose and Foggy, which is looking to increase a little bit as they go into Maggotts and Beckett.
Yeah, I just wanted to check actually, did Evdoka make it round or did he stop out on the track?
I think he did make it back to the pit lane. He's been in the pit lane now for just over a minute.
Thompson then desperately trying to escape. Just moving around a little bit on the hanger straight, trying to disrupt the slipstream of McFarlane, but once again, Foggy gets rather close to Christian Rose under braking for Stowe. These 5 have broken away then. Ben Palmer is in P6. He's trying to lead the charge as Foggy's trying to lead the charge against Christian Rose.
Did have a look at the inside into the final into the Club Vale section, but it just didn't work, and they're now starting to be left behind a little bit by McFarlane. Up the inside he goes again.
Oh wow, that's into Abbey Corner. Nice move there by Nico Foggy, former World GT champion. Oscar Mangan coming through on Christian Rose as well, so 2 places lost there. The man representing the Czech Republic.
Yeah, he's told us in a few race meetings ago that he's got dual nationality. Christian Rose, that's why he's got the Czech flag on his Audi, but it's not been the best lap for him, losing out 2 places, and Oscar Mangan and Nico Foggy already starting to scrap away with each other, taking very different lines through that section.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake by Mangan, going a little bit deep. Rose closing up again. Palmer's right on the back of this group now. Look how little it takes though, Adam, but these 5 were away, suddenly Palmer's there just because of a little bit of scrapping, mistake or 2. And now it's back as one big train again. It's Pete Harrod's only 9/10 behind.
On our timing screen, if it's a close battle, the gap is in orange, and if it's not a big battle, it's in white or white. But on our timing screen, it's just a sea of yellow. That's how close everyone is.
And there you can see it, look.
There you go. There's the red. That's what we are seeing on our timing screen. And yeah, there's very few white spaces, which means everyone is pretty much all line astern. This is a track where there is a lot of slipstreaming, and we're seeing it here as the two Renvale Fitstein Motorsports cars, Maclay and Bibby, very close in the fight for 8th and 9th.
An hour and 45 minutes then to decide this one. And we do want to extend really all our thoughts to everybody out there. Everyone should stay safe, look after each other, be nice to each other, be considerate, and just get through everything as best you can. That's what we're trying to do here, and you know, I hope that we can provide some entertainment in these times. What better if you, let's face it, right, Adam? What better if you're going to be stuck inside? Sit down and watch some Apex Racing TV and our Racing Esports Network.
Oh, definitely. It's probably one of the few sports that can continue in this situation.
Oh!
No, no.
Farm curve, that's Beard and Burke.
Slightest touch, and it was enough to send the team leader. Oh, another car off. There's a Ferrari sliding through the infield. That was Nick Madsen. He's off in the wall. That's the privateer Dane, number 14. Not sure what happened to him. It looked like he was by himself, and we've got another car in issues. That's Dan McCauley in the CQR Sim Sports car.
Yeah, McCauley. Where did he start?
Started in the midfield, but more issues. This is Jake Blackhall, the Aussie. Now, he did have a good qualifying. He was definitely higher than where he is now in 25th. Looks like issues for him in Brooklyn.
Jake Blackhall is a great talent. He just never seems to get any good fortune at all. Put it this way as well, in the age of quarantine, self-isolation, lockdown, we have memes to last for months, everybody, so don't worry.
Plenty of tweak mashups.
Yes. We should single-handedly start that website back up if we've got nothing better to do. Now, Blackhall, Jacobs, Blake and McCaffrey. First time I've seen Stephen McCaffrey this season.
Oh no, problem for Christian Rose. Is that a slowdown penalty? For him, he's now drifted down to 10th.
Could be. Track limits on this circuit, a little more sensitive than on the old version of the circuit. The two Mercedes in front of him, Maclay and Bibby, pretty close together for Renvale Fitstein Motorsport. Tom Jacobs has made good gains from 29th on the grid up into 23rd position.
Situation in the Pro-Am category remains as you were from the start. It's Matt Bunn that continues to lead there. There is Tom Jacobs. He is currently the lead Am. Or is it Stephen McCaffrey actually? Yeah, it is McCaffrey that leads the way. Tom Jacobs in second in class.
There he is, indeed.
Getting overtaken by that's Jake Blackhall getting past Jacobs, going through the final section of the complex.
Yeah, Jacobs is going to fight back. McCaffrey's putting some pressure on Freitas ahead, but we'll have a look at this then down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Oh. Yeah, he decided not to go for that one, Jacobs. That's the thing with Brooklands, Adam. It's a good place to overtake, but not a huge braking area in terms of distance.
Does pose an overtaking opportunity though, especially if you get a decent tow off the person in front of you there. But you definitely have to have at least half the car alongside if you want to get a move done into there. Just ask, who was it, Schumacher and Kobayashi a couple of years ago?
I think so. 2012.
And then I think wasn't there Maldonado and Perez had a coming together there too, didn't they? Oh no, probably.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Remember that one.
Fraser's jumping up and about on the timing screen. Connection issue for him. It looks like he's back where he was, which is 21st, but you can see he drops down a little bit and comes back. Here is Gear 1 Racing's Ash Beard, who is in a part of a pretty colourful trio here. You've got Horder in the boosted motorsport car in front, and then you've got Mike Gray's purple and black XVR sim racer car going into the final section of the circuit.
Thompson sets the fastest lap, 159.9. Actually, Foggy did a 59.8, which was illegal. Not the time itself. I mean,
it was that good.
Yes, indeed. It was, yeah, invalidated is what I meant.
So it's a good race for the Commonwealth at the moment. Isle of Man leading and Scotland in second and third.
Well, that's it. And pet hate of mine is the clashing flags of the UK and the countries of the UK.
I do remember filling out a form for the league that we did a couple of years ago, where you had the choice of either saying England or United Kingdom. But do digress. We are 10 minutes into this, and Nicole Foggy, he doesn't care where he's from. He just wants that second place, and he's got Ross McFarlane that's in his way of getting that second place at the moment. Both lapping very quick indeed. 2 minutes 0.2 last time around for Ross, and Nicole doing a 1:59.8, which was not the fastest lap of the race, as you were mentioning, because it was invalidated. But here he comes onto the hanger straight, and it looks like he may have got a slightly better run, but Ross is trying everything he can to try and stop him getting the slipstream here.
Well, two exceptionally fast Scotsmen who made the transition over to iRacing a couple of years ago and have really done fantastic things ever since. Ross McFarlane spearheading a V-Racer Teams Championship victory in the final season of the BSRTC last year, and Foggy, a World GT champion, really becoming very prominent on the service. Oscar Mangan was a World Championship driver in the days of the McLaren Formula 1 car on iRacing. Ben Palmer, a real driver, lots of promise. Really, really great field this is now.
Oh!
What's happened?
And through,
Oh.
like a rat up a drain pipe, goes Nicole Foggy, but Ross McFarlane is going to try and throw him back down it again, but it's the Mercedes that holds firm, and he's going straight to the inside to block the inside into Brookland.
As usual, I look away for 1 second and an overtake happens, but here comes Foggy up the inside then, and Mangan trying to follow him through, but McFarlane's not going to have any of that. Two McLarens battling through the infield section.
And unlike the British Grand Prix, we're not going to cut to crowd shots at this moment as Mangan runs
we could if we really wanted to, but no, not on purpose anyway.
And McFarlane keeps Mangan at bay, and he nearly gets to the inside into Copse, but it's just such a quick corner that unless you're really alongside, there's just no way that's going to happen.
The pyrotechnics out of the back of the McLaren continue. The synchronized light flashing as well, I always appreciate that. Going through Maggotts and Beckett's and on to Chapel. Amazing sequence of corners, whether you're driving it or spectating at it, as I alluded to earlier on.
And he used so much of the curb and more on the exit of Chapel. They want to run out wide as much as they can so they can carry the speed through.
Yeah, the curves are pretty flat through there, though, aren't they? So they don't really unsettle the car ever, unless you catch them terribly wrong. And up the inside goes Lewis Bibby on the McLaren of Pete Harron through Stowe. Might have been a tiny bit of contact there, in fact. On the way out, it looked like maybe a slight net code, but not very noticeable. There's the Nomad Sim Racing car of Barry Baird, starting in 7th place. That's a tricky start to the action, but 15 minutes he's fighting to remain inside the top 10. Jocelyn Clay is ahead of him, and his championship leader Mark Fletcher behind in the Mercedes. Personal best coming in, Adam, as the fuel's going down. Matt Bunn, Underhill, Horder, Blackhall, all coming in with the green laps.
Good rear action shot there from the Mercedes in 11th place. And
is that Adam Hedgecock's crashed, is that right?
Oh, it's true, yeah. The Audi is off in the exit of the first corner. That's where we saw the Nick Madsen off earlier. And now we're going to find out what's going to happen to the boosted Sim Sport car now.
It's going to be self-inflicted. Oh, a little bit wide. He gets on the dirty stuff and there's no saving it there. Yeah, it was kind of between, wasn't he? Because he didn't quite hit the apex. He didn't quite go wide enough to just run it straight across the runoff area around him. It was kind of in between, wasn't it?
He went wide for the first corner, and then it was almost as if the dirty grip meant he ended up spinning afterwards. Here is Chris.
He's made a move immediately, though.
And of course, if you knew, next to the next to the numbers, if that flashes up red, that little streak, that means they've gone off the circuit.
Yes. That's it. And the green marker, the light green marker, is the car that you're viewing on screen now. It's a problem for Mike Gray.
Oh yeah, he's blown the engine.
Oh my!
Now that is
a big one because the bonnet's come off. And...
what a toll! Well, I don't know what at all has befallen the XVR car here. Now he's battling away with Morgan Butler. It looks like.
Ooh! Oh, it's unlucky to. It's a concrete wall there, though, isn't it? It's not. It's not a tyre barrier or a safer barrier or anything like that. It's just sadly a hard wall, and the front engine car hitting it exactly where he didn't want to.
Oh, also off his ash bin. Now that's the final corner. Pete Newman also losing a few places, but that's ahead of us. Fortunately for Mike Gray, he will get back to the pits and get a new car and carry on from there, but something not going right at all for the year one car here. Look at this. This is, hoping I'm pronouncing it right, John Aegis, or is it Agui we're thinking of, in the 52 Merc.
Yeah, and he's ahead of Ben Gregory. And of course, that's the KC Racing Esports livery, isn't it? And running as a privateer this time. They had a team in the championship last year, which was very successful. When we were in the GTE cars.
Switched over to the GT3s this season. They were running in GT3s when we first started covering it. And then when GTE took off, there was a sudden influx of cars on the iRacing service in that class, and then the World GT Championship profited from that, got very successful on the back of that too. And now we're back in the GT3s, which is where it all began, and once again we're still getting incredible numbers for this. We had, as you saw when we were running through the grid earlier, 50 cars starting, and now we've got to fight for 5th place on our hands.
Yeah, and it's a fierce one as well. Bibby leads the way. Ahead of Palmer and Harrod, Christian Rose and George McClay. Rose started second. It's kind of just falling away from him a little bit, isn't it? Doesn't seem to have the race pace in that Audi that some of his competitors have got.
Palmer, one of the few drivers in this race to be exactly where he qualified after 18 minutes. And Christian Rose is also on the move. You can see his Audi
where's
there.
the Ferrari on the outside, look. Keeping well out of the way, having said that.
That was the Ferrari of Nathan Dixon in the SCC racing car.
Dixon keeping well out of the way, and unfortunately for him, it's he's going to have 2 or 3 laps or more of pain while the field is going through on him.
Look at this though. Can George McClay use the grip on the outside? But McClay, he's going to try and get it done here. But watch out for Harrod. Harrod's got the inside line and the shorter line in that McLaren.
Very nearly thought that he was going to Steve Soper, John Cleland him there.
Oof. Maybe not just yet.
Oh no, maybe at the end. But I worry sometimes because you see cars getting out of shape through Brooklands, and sometimes there's not a lot of place they can actually go in Luffield. Do the S's again then. Good place to watch from the outside there of Chapel as well. You can see the cars winding their way through.
Oh, there's not space there. Oh.
By Harrod, and he was thinking about the big dive up the inside into Stoke Corner. That didn't materialise, but he's right with him. And again, they're stuck together. Contact coming into the chicane. Bibby and Palmer got a bit stuck together, didn't they, under braking, and yeah, that was a problem. That's where we saw, of course, Vettel and Verstappen, wasn't it, crashing there last year in 2019.
Oh, that was a classic, wasn't it, that one? That was when just we were on the back of a couple really dull F1 races, and then races like that came along, and at Austria, which
Austria, yeah.
kind of reignited the season for us, really.
Oh yeah, if you ignore the first half of the season, that was a great season last year. If you put the first half of 2013 and the second half of 2019 together, you'd have an all-time classic.
There you go. Stuff to watch for you while we're all in quarantine.
Yeah, that's it. I may well order some F1 reviews or something.
Christian Rose, then, what about him? He started second on the grid, then lost a few places early on, then lost even more, and has now dropped down and is now on the comeback trail. He was as low as 10th at one point, and now the Audi fancies a shot at the top 5. He's got Lewis Bibby in front of him in the Mercedes, the Renvale Fitstyle Motorsport car, and the Audi, which was only 25 thousandths of a second away from snatching pole at the death of qualifying, is looking pretty good all of a sudden. So see if Christian Rose can get it this time.
Yeah, he's suddenly just come alive, hasn't he? And maybe it just takes the Audi a bit different amount of time to warm the tyres up. Maybe something to do with the setup it's got underneath him. I did see there was an astute observation that sort of if people have to stay inside for weeks on end with little human contact, it's not really going to change much in sim racing. And you can't, I feel like it's quite a well-made point there. But in all seriousness, it's great that we can still put these events on. This is, of course, the iRacing Esports Network. If you're just joining us here, presented by Apex Racing TV, the World GT Championship with Pure Sim. And yeah, it's Pure Sims, sorry. And off. That's Newman.
Oh, and also
and Blackhawk. That's a sneaky bad disaster.
Well, blue and yellow both off here. Now let's see if they are. It looks like they're unrelated.
Oh, yeah, I think they might be because Newman coming through Stowe loses the break. Oh dear, he'll feel silly looking at that one.
Well, Blackhawk misses it, but then.
Oh, has he lost it on the outside after he's gone past?
I wonder.
Oh, he's lost it.
He'd already picked up the damage just as we cut to him. So did he hit the outside wall and then bounce back across the track? I'm not sure. We'll find out now. Anyway, he just about gets past him here.
We're with the Australian. Oh, and then the Mercedes, the boosted car.
Yikes.
Oh, bang!
And I think that's the track in another
suspension. And that's broken suspension for Blackhawk. Ah, so unlucky, so unlucky. That's typical Jake Blackhawk, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, only he could get an incident like that happening to him. Honestly.
At least one thing in his favour is that it's a very short tow, and he still has a fast repair. So
now that Audi looks pretty nice, doesn't it, behind Harry Wills?
Indeed, yeah, for Team Rookie Monsters.
The 955. He's taking on Michael Blake, an experienced competitor, and at the moment 4th in the overall standings in the AM category. He'll be a contender come the end of the season, no doubt. A little bit wide through the complex though, a little bit yeah, he's messed that up a little bit as Blake. Harry Wills might get a run here. Let's see if the Brit can overtake the other Brit. To Stowe again. Blake's got understeer, hasn't he, Adam? Lots of it looks like.
Yeah, BMW not looking too good through there, but they are getting towards the end of a run.
Yeah, he's barely hit one apex this lap though. I think that is just the car is just not cooperating, especially in the fast corners. It looked all right in the slow stuff. You can see that he's extended the gap a little bit in the slow corners.
Now this is a fight.
Blake legitimately do a 208 on that. Oh, Pete Newman again! Oh dear.
This time it's Abby that's.
Oh, he can't steer. It looked like he couldn't steer there, mate.
Look at this now. We've got a free car duel now between 3 different makes: Mercedes, BMW, and Audi.
And that's Dan McCauley at the front of this group. the Scotsman in the CQR Sim Sports car, who we saw having a bit of an issue early on. A lot of inside curve there for the Audi of Wills. When there's a Wills, there's a way though. Let's see if you can get past Michael Blake.
Now through Cops. Towards Maggots and Beckett. So just having a look at the speeds these cars are getting through there. Around 240 kph before slamming on the brakes. And there you go, we've got the graphic up on the bottom right hand side of your picture so we can really see what these guys are doing. They are in and around third gear through the final section through Chapel. There's an Audi off in the background there. That is Lars van Rijn in the boosted Sim Sports car. The Dutchman looks like he's taking a piece of the Armco with him as well. And in fact,
yeah,
I think he might have been lap.
Yeah, I mean that's most of the front of his car disappeared.
That's a shame for him.
And with this old damage model as well, I mean, it takes a fairly big whack to do that to it.
Well, that's it. Around this Silverstone circuit, there isn't too much in the way of tyre barriers at all. We've seen in the past that if you hit them, you tend to get off a bit more lightly than if you hit the hard stuff, like the concrete walls that we saw happen to Mike Gray earlier, and the Armco barriers too.
You can see the timing tower there, just changed to the gap to the leader. And only 45 seconds covering the top 24 after nearly half an hour's racing, so pretty solid stuff. And as well, you've got 3 classes of driver there. Green is the pros, supposedly the fastest, but you don't say that to their faces because they'll be their egos they don't need inflating anymore. And then the Pro-Ams in yellow and the AMs in orange. So if you see any AMs in the top 20, like McCaffrey and Jacobs, doing a grand job at it.
And they've had good races so far. McCaffrey gaining 6 places to be in 17th in his BMW with the green wheels. At least that's what I can see. Yeah.
Around St. Patrick's Day, of course.
Yeah, tomorrow is the day, isn't it? We've done broadcasts on that day. In fact, I remember Jamie Fluke.
Oh dear.
Was it him that was on the BEVs on St. Patrick's Day?
I think it was.
Fastest lap of the race, Ross McFarlane is not hanging around. He's done a 1:59.740 as he continues to turn up the heat on second place Nicole Foggy. I am a big fan of that livery, I must say, on Ross McFarlane's car. The blue, of course. iRacing has given you new paints for this season as well. I think you can go for like the metallic paints and whatever.
Yeah, and they're using as well hashtag Get Behind the Cure as well, and we're all like, oh, that sentiment. Fastest lap he set just on the previous one as well.
Yeah, 1:59.74.
Just 1/100th of a second ahead of Josh Thompson, who is continuing to pound in the laps at the front. 2.8 seconds is his gap.
Shows you that we're half an hour into this one, and the tyres are showing no signs of giving up on these guys at all. Really, we are. Yeah.
That they've just cancelled the Grand National, but we've got plenty of horsepower on show here.
Oh, very good. There's no TT either this year, so that's got cancelled.
Oh dear, really? Well. To be honest, there'll be nobody on the roads anyway, so they could do it any time.
Oh, well, speaking off the road, it's Harry Wills in the Team Rookie Monsters car. He's got going again, and he's going to be just in front of Carl Jacquelet.
Oh my goodness! Maybe change of underwear for Jacquelet there as he steamed up towards the Audi, and he's flying up the inside into Brooklands. Oh, and it's a block pass. Nicely done. No contact there, and Jacquelet's through. Been having a good season. He made a good result, didn't he, last week? He made 3 places in the championship, so 33rd overall in the AM category. Carl Jacquelet sat in 5th place. Pretty good.
There are a few good stories to tell from this part of the field. Who is it? Oh, Dennis Melcher's off.
Run.
That's what's happened.
Oh dear. Well, just that's the commentator's curse to end all commentators' curses, isn't it? Just even mentioning his name made him crash then.
Oh dear me. Well, he's got going again. Unfortunately, he hasn't hit anything, but Dennis Melcher back where he started, in fact, in P33. Jacqueline and Wills just in front of him have just exchanged places, it looks like.
The Ford GT only came out in sort of, you know, about 10 or 15 years ago. But the inside of it looks like it's from 1965, doesn't it?
It's a round wheel as well. You don't see too many of them these days.
No, you don't. But I do like a round steering wheel. I do prefer it for some reason. Hey, he's doing well with the old girl though. 33rd place, and he only lost 1 or 2 spots, I think, with that big spin.
Not
of course,
too
that used to be gravel. That used to be gravel on the exit of Cops race, but somebody spun at first corner.
Oh no, it's
Jacqueline.
And it was this spot a lap ago where he nearly crashed into the back of Harry Wills, who was recovering from a spin.
Oh no! Oh dear! Oh, it's close. Dear me, very, very close indeed. That was.
Don't crash into him. It's the medical car.
Yes. What's going on a bit further down? Do we have any battles? Not really.
Now, the closest we've got is between Niall Crofer and John Roberts. That's over 36th and 37th, if you're looking that far back.
Well, there's a good one between, looks like there's a good one between Horde and McCaffrey and Freitas, is that right? I think that's, as Thompson sets the fastest lap legitimately this time, 59.7 dead.
Yeah, we've got just over half a second back to the Ferrari, and then it's about a second back to that year 1 racing Mercedes at the back there, the bright green and the pink. In 5 minutes or so, oh hang on, I need to do the math.
Oh, somebody's
in the pits. Oh yeah, field off, yeah.
That's a right mess at the front of that car, of that Mercedes. It's not steering properly. Freitas in the pits as well. I don't know if this is scheduled or not, but
I reckon it
Freitas,
is.
car 999. Who knows? Long pit lane here, of course. With a slow speed limit.
Yeah, that's to stop you gaining an advantage by going in the pits. Otherwise, we'd all be doing it.
Alex Simpson set the fastest lap of the race going through. Oh no, fastest. It was qualifying, wasn't it? They were doing the qualifying, and he set a pole position in the pit lane by accident. So they changed that the next time.
Now on this channel, in a couple of days, it's the return of the ARL TCR on Thursday night. Oh, car off at there's a car off at Abbey. Oh, sorry, Cops. It's Craig Jones in his SCC Racing Ferrari.
That's the championship leader, Craig Jones.
Massive shame for the 88 car.
One thing we're seeing in the early going of this race, though, is and we've always seen this at this track. If you go off at Silverstone, if you have a crash, chances are it's going to be a pretty big one.
And that's even with the massive runoff areas that we've got here.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say to you earlier, before there was a move going on, or another crash it was, wasn't it? That it used to be gravel on the outside where Dennis Melcher went off at Cops, so it used to be punished massively, especially in single-seaters for going off there.
I remember being a big one there in 2001, I think. DC being involved. I think Yana Trulli was involved in his Jordan 2 as well.
There was one in I think there was one in '97 as well. Was it Frenson and Vissy Keller or something like that, was it?
I think there was a famous Murray Walker quote at that moment. I think it might have been it's Frenson again or something like that at that point.
I was going to ask you actually, since we're on the topic, have you got any favourite memories of Silverstone with the new layout or the old one?
I do like the '98 one. Must admit, a bit of a Schumacher fanboy. So coming in for the penalty, and winning the race.
Yeah, they should change the rules after that, didn't they?
Throw a time penalty on afterwards.
This is Ash Beard. Oh, McCaffrey's gone wide. Steve McCaffrey. And Ash Beard's through. And Ash Beard's made a good recovery, actually, from being off the track earlier, up to 16th place now.
Did like 2012, that was a good one. That was Webber versus Alonso.
2012 was good. 2003 was mental.
Oh yeah.
Toyota leading for 18 laps.
1995, Schumacher v Hill.
Yeah.
Johnny
And
Herbert winning.
was that when they crashed into each other?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And then the other one that comes to mind is the absolute deluge that was the 2008 race, which Lewis Hamilton won, and Rubens Barrichello got on the podium in that awful Honda, and Nick Heidfeld overtook two people in one corner.
Felipe Massa had a race to forget for that one.
Five spins, I think it was. Don't think I've ever seen anyone spin off 5 times in one Grand Prix, but poor Felipe had the dishonour of that time. Sorry.
I was just going to say, just a bit of housekeeping. A few cars have come into the pits. Nathan Dixon in, Matt Bunn in his CQR club with Pure Sims also in. Chris Daines in too.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's Chris Daines, sorry.
2000 was good, even though I'm sure the people that attended it don't want to remember going there.
Yeah, I mean, I did wonder at the time. Granted, I was only 10 at the time, but I did wonder why they changed it to April. And yeah, when you saw the scenes of the car parks being flooded and everybody generally having quite a miserable time of getting away from the circuit. That was before they built that bypass road, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a single carriageway road in, I believe, at that point.
So when we've been here, it's actually been quite decent getting in and out of the circuit. There's only been one time where it's taken more than, say, like a quarter of an hour to get away. But yeah, it's.
Oh, it was even good. I came in for the British Grand Prix a couple of years ago, and
was that the one where it was baking, like the ridiculously hot summer? Everything was brown.
Yeah, like the grass was all dead. Yeah, that was a really good race as well. A couple of safety cars, a late race restart, and then Sebastian Vettel coming through to win with a couple laps to go. Really. That was a good day. My mistake for not bringing in any sun cream. Got back absolutely killing.
Oh dear. Yeah, that is a rookie mistake. Because in comes the leader then, Josh Thompson, man from the Isle of Man. Let's see what his stop is going to be like.
Nico Foggy also in.
Yeah.
Ross McFarlane staying out, so we could see a roll of the dice in terms of strategy here. Thompson and Foggy setting such a pace that cars are leaving the pits just as they're coming in to make their stop.
Yeah, it is a long pit stop here. I mean, what's the fastest one we've seen so far? Fastest pit lane time?
Around a minute.
Chris Daines was in for 46 seconds by the looks of it as well.
Simon Field was in for 20, was out of the pit, in and out of the pit lane in just over 60 seconds. But here comes some more cars in. That's the Merc of Tom Jacobs and the McLaren of Andy Scheel. And a lot of cars choosing to come in now.
In my opinion, you want to go as long as possible to get the shortest fuel stop. I wonder if any people are taking tyres here as well, as that's watching Harry Wills, and he's got very, very wide stuff. Josh Thompson emerges in 6th place. So, and that's mostly because nearly everybody pitted immediately behind him. Everybody else found the top 5. Foggy still sat there though.
Seconds tick by, now he's away. Now that was a 52.9 second stop as opposed to Thompson who did a 29.7. I wonder if this will even itself back out later on in the race, but for now Foggy is down in 14.
Well, we've seen it, haven't we, even in recent weeks that's happened, and recent months here on the Apex Racing TV.
Oof.
And the RSC Esports Network, Wills is having a right trouble holding on to this Audi. I wonder if his tyres are going, or if he's just the balance, maybe just doesn't have the balance underneath him. Foggy is right behind them as well, and now he needs to get on with it quick.
Ross McFarlane and Oscar Mangan now take the opportunity to come into the pits. You can see from the track map on the right-hand side of your picture just whereabouts the likes of Thompson are. Thompson is just coming through Chapel.
Foggy through on Wills.
Oh yeah.
Thompson is just behind one of the Lizard Motorsport cars on the circuit. Quite sure who that is, but he's flashing the lights at him. Out of my way, he says.
Interesting to see how long the stops last for McFarlane and Mangan. We saw Foggy potentially choose to go for the longest stop at this time, and of course when we get to halfway,
he was in the pits for 1 minute and 32.
McFarlane's coming out of the pits now, so he's going to be ahead of Josh Thompson, that is for sure. There goes the McLaren.
That's a big point, big moment. Ross McFarlane taking a shorter stop. He was only 39 seconds in the pit lane. It's great work. That can't be right, actually. That's not right, is it?
No, he was in for a minute and one.
He was 59 seconds or whatever, yeah.
A lot of position changes going on now, so it's Thompson in second, Fletcher now up in third. He came in for a pit stop earlier.
So many cars in the pits. I think some of the times have glitched.
See from the timing tower the stops there.
Ah, there we see it, yeah.
The cars that are in the pits, you can see the clock ticking away on them. The likes of Adam Hedgecock, Barry Baird, Michael Blake, Harry Wills also in.
Of course, we've still got half distance points, haven't we?
Yes, that's true, yeah.
To give out, and that will be at 52.5 minutes.
There we go, that's saved me trying to do the maths live on air.
Well, I know we got it wrong last time, so I don't want to make that mistake again.
Up the inside here, this is Christian Rose.
Oh, yeah. That's on Mike Horder. So Horder is leading the Pro-Am category. That's the middle of the three categories. He's 53 points behind championship leader Mike Gray, but we saw Gray have all sorts of problems earlier on. And in fact, he's out of the race, isn't he? So, well, it's an open goal, isn't it, for Horder to hoard some points? Mere all week. Might have to be.
Well, the government is now saying 2 weeks, isn't it?
The government told me so, yes.
Double bill.
No, for the record, I've still got to go to work on Wednesday. It's no, I haven't got that. I haven't got that luxury slash disappointment yet. And look at this, Ben Palmer. He's looking to disappoint Chris Daines here. Goes up the inside of the Brintec Sim Sport man. Daines flashing the lights. The Viking. If you'll be saying skull after this one.
Well, Palmer's overtake there has just broken a bit of a stranglehold of the positions by Mercedes, really. Before that overtake, they were in third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. But now Ben Palmer's McLaren has kind of spoiled that a little bit. And right now, we have got quite a lot of Mercs inside the top 10. You can see them there on the timing tower too. Not too much in the way of Ferraris either.
In terms of obviously with everything that's going on with coronavirus at the moment and esports becoming more prominent, will we see? Do you think is this the beginning? Is this sort of the genesis of a world where it becomes more equal between motorsport and sim racing?
It is a good debate. The moment the Australian Grand Prix was cancelled, I saw many sim racing esports teams announcing that they were here or whatever, and a whole load of websites, popular websites here, as Oscar Mankin goes for another move on Mike Cord. That's 2 places lost for Mike.
He got a great run out of Luffield. He was already alongside before Copse Corner, which really, to be honest, you have to do. Can't really have a lunge even in these GT3 cars. Just don't have as much downforce, of course, as a single-seater or a Le Mans prototype. Mangan,
yeah,
on the charge.
He had the longest pit stop pretty much out of anyone in the top few places. He was in his pit box for the best part of a minute. And when you compare that with Ross McFarlane, who was in the pit lane, stops, and out of the pit lane in just over that shows you how long that Oscar was stationary for. And now he'll be hoping that he can use that extra bit of time to, I didn't check, to maybe change tyres or maybe fit up a little bit more to help benefit him later on in the race.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these endurance races that we don't get in this triple race sprint format is the strategy element. Here comes Rose on Danes. The Audi's late on the brakes. He makes that one work, and he just blocks off the entry to the loop so that Danes doesn't get a big run on him down the Wellington straight. Nicely done by Christian Rose once again.
Textbook moving.
Thanks for the kind words, David Ayres on the chat as well.
But yeah, back to the point. Yeah, we did see there's the racer.com that got quite a lot of respected journalists recently. They organised their own sim racing thing at the weekend, which had a few big names in it. I think even Jack Nicholls got behind the mic of an R Factor 2 event. I think it was actually that.
That was good to hear. He was one of the first voices I saw I heard on sim racing when I used to watch the what was it called? Formula Sim Racing, wasn't it, back in the day?
So yeah, it is a worthy debate. Of course, sim racing on the rise. We know this, we've been to the Sim Racing Expo for the last few years. So big now that they've.
Who knows whether that's going to go ahead or not? Well, that's earlier this year as well, isn't it? I believe. Is that right?
Yeah,
there's two of them. They're putting 2 events on, aren't they?
They seem to be getting earlier and earlier. I remember it was in the middle of September when we were going. Last year was towards the end of August. Of course, we've got the ARL TCR starting again on Thursday. That was another point we were trying to make earlier. That's on this very channel, the iRacing Esports Network.
I think we've had issues made for Michael Blake and for John Roberts. I wonder if they were anywhere near each other, but...
Oh no, Bun's crashed as well, I think.
Bun. Oh, there he is.
Now that's a lovely...
I hope that's not Matt Spun again.
Well, let's see if we can prove that fact by getting a replay for you. Now this is going into Brooklands.
Just checking the steering to make sure. Oh, he's having some steering issues there. That looks very strange. Oh, he's already had some. I think he's already had some damage at them. That did not look right coming through Brooklands at all.
Let's have a look, Gunny.
The cars don't just go away from you like that. Look, you can't drive it straight almost.
Oh, poor Bun. Well, after all that, he's now down in 32nd place.
It doesn't look like it's crabby, but the way it went round the left-hander was extremely weird.
In a bit of no man's land.
Tyres or something.
Yeah. 3 seconds at the road is Lars van Rijn. You can just about make out the Audi there in that shot. And then Michael Blake is John Roberts is 10 seconds away, who has looked like has been involved with something with Michael Blake. Both of them having been shown as brash. Look at this. Mangan, he's on the move again. That's another place.
Yeah, nicely done there by Oscar Mangan. This is Chris Danes. Danes flashing the lights at him again. Lovely move up the inside into Cobb's corner. And that was well played by the Irishman.
Carbon copy of his move a couple laps ago on Mike Porter. Next up for him is Ben Palmer. He's 2.1 seconds away. Currently, Mangan's the only car lapping in the 150 under 2 minutes, basically. Aside from Nicole Foggy, that is, who did a 1:59.8 on that last lap.
Here's a question as well. Obviously, with this, not all motorsports have been suspended. I think NASCAR is still running behind closed doors. Is that right?
I think they called it off. IndyCar, the same date, was called off very late on as well.
Oh, literally, like sort of hours
Saturday.
before, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Very bad.
Oh yeah, didn't they? Because that's why they did the iRacing race yesterday, wasn't it? So is that pretty much all motorsport called off now then, officially?
What we had
the World Rally Championship actually went ahead, but then they shortened it to 2 days.
We had Moto3 and Moto2 were at Qatar last weekend, but not the one that's just gone, the one before that. So when it wasn't as bad.
GP, bizarrely.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there wasn't anything of significant fame that was taking place at the weekend.
I think so. With that in mind, I mean, surely there's still some scope for teams to potentially go testing if they want to. I mean, surely that's not really putting.
It's not a mass gathering, is it?
Well, no. I'm thinking maybe not necessarily Formula One because obviously they need a lot more people, but surely there's still. Yeah, surely less if it's less than 20 or 30 people, maybe, and maybe with the extended break, it's only fair that maybe they let them go and do some testing. Just heard the British Touring Car Championship. Well, we think that's going to be off as well because there's per the government's response today, there probably won't be any medical provision there. So I think if they haven't called it off already, they probably are going to. But yeah, my question really is that do you think that in terms of how is this going to affect the plans for 2021? Because obviously Formula One was planning a big change
Well,
coming
I think
into the next season, and you know that might be now in a little bit of doubt as McLaren maybe continue to be pretty much stuck together. It's brilliant stuff.
and they're fighting over, as things stand, a place on the podium. Nearly a place on the podium. They're 4th and 5th at the moment. Fletcher is just a couple of seconds up the road. But yeah, these two are in a fantastic scrap, and two teammates showing each other quite a bit of respect. But yeah, to answer your point, and this can apply also to this can also apply to the world of football as well. When I saw the TT cancel, now that is an event that's taking place towards the end of May, beginning of June time, as far as I'm aware. I need to double check on that. That is after the date that F1 that reckon they'll be back. So,
but yeah, they're saying potentially Monaco, aren't they? Which is last week in May.
Yeah.
Or Azerbaijan, but I don't know when Azerbaijan is, whether that's in June or not. But
I'll just check the TT for you.
But I think
the Isle of Man.
You know, they're spending football until April, but that's not going to be. If they're saying that potentially the middle of it all is going to be 2 or 3 months, that was very close lapping there by Bibby almost. Oh dear me, that was well collected in the middle of Stoke. Big armful of opposite lock. Lightning fast reactions by Lewis Bibby.
TT race is taking place between the 30th of May and 13th of June. And yeah, they're now called off.
They might not have much choice. I mean, I think that, and obviously, look, we've got to point out that it's all relative, right? So this is Baird versus Jacobs. Jacobs has worked his way up magnificently, and now he's up the inside on Baird into Vale. Ah, yeah, lovely move there.
Of course, we are just past the halfway mark, so points have been dished out to everybody in their relative places. So that's points for Ross McFarlane for winning the Pro, Mike Horder for winning the Pro-Am category, and Tom Jacobs taking victory in the Am, even with him being in 16th place overall. That's a pretty decent showing.
That's with the demise of McCaffrey, isn't it? He might have been ahead of McCaffrey anyway. I can't quite remember, but yeah.
I think it was McCaffrey first, Jacobs second, but let's check that one. But there is Tom Jacobs.
We're on lap 27 here, just for those of you keeping score at home. But yeah, I really think this is the time now for sim racing to really. Oh, that might just be team orders, is it?
I think
change of position. Maybe Jacobs having the pace over Gregory. Gregory letting him through. And he's trying to fend off Baird. Can he do it, Adam? He's going to be side by side into Cobb's corner. Oh, nearly so anyway.
I thought he was going to move across the front of him then. I thought we had a mother of all quarter panels on our hands. That's Barry Baird taking the wide line on the exit.
Well over 160 miles an hour isn't the place you want to be doing that, but just about got away with it there, those two. But yeah, sim racing could fill a massive void here.
Well, I know that we're all preaching to the converted here, but
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, and I was there thinking we might have a lot of viewers tonight. It hasn't really happened, but you know, I guess it's a slow process.
Oh, at the inside. There he goes. I was going to say that there's going to be huge amounts of spaces on TV channels, TV listings, because all the sport has not taken place. There's,
Oh, he's going to get in front. Gregory, great battle here, and Warmingham is on the back of this one as well in the BMW.
Those different makes scrapping away here. Two teammates in the Mercedes, and we've got this really rampaging Audi of Barry Baird, and then we've got the BMW sitting patiently in Rich Warmingham here in 18.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why people couldn't fill that time. Oh, up inside for Barry Baird. That's a lovely move there into Village. Gets that one done. It stays ahead of Gregory. And now he's off after Jacobs once more. It's a good scrap in the midfield.
Tell you what, if you get a move done there, it's incredibly satisfying.
Oh, and
from one Fitstyle Motorsport team to another, as here they are.
Yeah, big battle going on for P4 as well. George McClay, Lewis Bibby, and Nicole Foggy. As of yet, no bubbly for Bibby, but only 2 places away, only 5 seconds away, which you know sounds like a fair time, but when they've got pit stops to negotiate, Adam, it's going to be. Oh, he nearly misses the braking there, Foggy, but not quite. McFarlane leads by 3 seconds, incidentally.
Oh, he's going to send it.
Oh, he's going for it, Foggy, up the inside. Once again, I look at the timing tower and there's a move going on.
Straight up the inside, and Foggy does it, cracks the top 5.
Nice.
And he's broken that battle between the 2 teammates, and now he's wonder how long it's going to be before he gets past George McClay, because
has he cut the course there?
Looks quick, yeah.
That was close to cutting the course. I'm not sure whether he'll have to slow down and give up the time gained. Oh, he's going for it! Wow! Lovely move. Brilliant. That's very good. And he blocked off the exit as well, Adam, so he just couldn't cut him back easily.
Great job. I didn't expect him to take that long, that short of a time to get past the Renvale Fitstyle Motorsports cars, but Foggy's done it, and it's going to be great to see how much he can eat into that gap in front. Mark Fletcher is just 5 seconds away, as you were saying.
But as was pointed out earlier on, he took tyres, didn't he? And the rest didn't, so I want to see this lap. This could be the fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Because Nico Foggy, fresh tyres, sort of a medium amount of fuel most likely. He's going to try and eat into that leader, into that 5 second gap to Mark Fletcher. And with new rubber on that Mercedes, with XVR Sim Racing, he could well achieve it.
Ross McFarlane pulling a purple final sector. Something's happened between Chris Danes and...
Because it's probably going to be the next lap that's going to be the fast one, sorry, yes.
Yeah. We'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. Ross McFarlane does a 2-minute 3:66. Josh Thompson 2:03, 2:03. So just fractionally quicker than the race leader.
Well, you've got Danes. Sorry, you've got Danes, Palmer, and Harrod, as you said. Really close together at the moment.
Chris Danes has been shown as crashed just a couple of minutes ago, so I'm not sure what happened between those guys. Fletcher does a 2-minute 1.028. Nicole Foggy, what does he do? A 1:59.8.
Wow, that's with an overtake.
Yeah, and that's not too far away from the fastest lap of the race. You're talking about a tenth really away from what Thompson did earlier, 1:59.7.
Rhodes has just gone sub 2 minutes as well. That's looking good for him, as is Mangan. As are the 2 leaders. Now, there is the Audi of Christian Rhodes, who started on the front row. What's he off the lead? 38 seconds off the lead now. I'm not sure that's what he anticipated after an hour's racing, but still good points then for the man who's 6th in the championship at the moment.
Now, this guy's a lap down. This is Carl Jacquelet, who is in 36th place. He's got Matt Draycott just behind him, half a second away, and then you've got
Alright, so while we wait for the Discord to actually come back, so we can get the guys back in the booth, let's continue on with this battle here with Ben Gregory and Tom Jacobs. Gregory now holding on here, but we also have some movement down here. That Batman and the fan favorite Dave Meltzer in his Ford also has kind of been in the defense really for throughout the whole race. Currently under attack by Pan, but Pan has also had his fair share of issues, and I think if his car is still driving okay, that should be a fairly easy pass through there. But Meltzer not giving up easily, but just ends up having to really give up that position. And who is that coming right behind him? Let's see, that is... It is our leader, it's Ross McFarlane, so he is coming through to lap these guys. He definitely doesn't want to lose any time here behind this, as Thompson is only 3 seconds behind and catching up very rapidly. McFarlane makes the pass on Meltzer, and next up is just a few more guys. Let's see, where is Thompson? He is almost there, he's only 2.5 seconds behind right now, so he is catching up really quickly with much faster sector times for the past few sectors. Let's see, now McFarlane is able to open up the slight gap. Oh, do we have a problem for Masked Manga and Rotor? Yes, we do. That's Mangan off the track, and I believe that might have been a collision during the overtake. Let's see, he's coming through a lap of traffic, and that just might be... It just got the crash on the rear tire under braking, and that's enough really to upset the car and send it into a spin. But I don't believe he lost any position. Oh, he actually might have. Yeah, he lost a position to Harrod and Palmer, who are now in front. And do we have the pit stop window open a second time? Because that is Simon Field coming in to take his second pit stop of the race. Although it has to be said that his first one was only 20.6 seconds, which is very short. So perhaps he's just going for a shorter middle stint and longer last stint. We have a Holder and a Spear going at it for the 12th place. We're just not really able to get a good exit out of there, and actually now falling behind and getting under attack from Freitas in his Mercedes. But this is a really good battle here for the 11th place. I think it was at this point, when we are over halfway through the race, it has kind of spread out the field, but we still have these good, nice battle packs going on. Yeah, thanks Marco. Unfortunately the accent is there, but until we get the lovely voices of Adam and Andrew back, that's unfortunately what you have to deal with. We're really looking for the position there, but not quite close. And can he get the overtake here? So close, but he really has to be also careful with the Freitas, because if he makes a mistake there and doesn't get the move done, Freitas will definitely capitalize on that mistake. And now Freitas is really closing in. Can't quite hold on to Beer on those fast corners, so maybe Beer has just a little bit better balance over the high-speed corners. I'm not personally familiar with how the POP is after this pass with these cars. I mostly just drive the Audi, but it seems like, from what I understand, the Ferrari hasn't been really the favorite since the latest update. Here again, closing in. But it's really difficult, especially with the equal cars, and They are really close in place. Oh, so McFarlane coming in for his second and last pit stop. Nails the entry, and what does Josh Thompson do? Josh Thompson stays out. He did take more fuel, I believe, on his first pit stop, so he should be able to go maybe lap or two longer. And what about Fletcher? Fletcher is still staying out. He is approaching the pit entry. And no, he stays out, but Foggy pulls in for the pits. Now this is a bit surprising because Foggy had a really long pit stop. So perhaps he is now just going to take fuel, and Josh Thompson only... McFarlane only taking the fuel, let's see. Meanwhile, Josh Thompson stays out. And McLeay stays out, Bibi stays out. So this is gonna be a good spread of strategies here. And we have also Rose. Yeah, Rose also... Is he leaving? He is now coming in for a pit stop. Order coming in for pit stops. Just taking a look at when do we see the first guys exiting their box. That is now Nicole Foggy, who has completed her pit stop in 24 seconds, so that is only fuel, and that is should be just enough for the rest of the race. And let's see, what does everyone else do? Rose 26 seconds, and that is also only fuel. And here's a good battle, and now everyone kind of getting bunched up with cars leaving the pits. Now they have to be really careful here. Prepared and Adam Bass haven't done their pit stops yet. Oh, that is paired around. And that's in a really bad position. I think he just decided, okay, let's go back to the pits. Fortunately, it is not too long of a tow here, but it's of course not the ideal situation when you have to take a tow rather than just getting back on the track and doing your second pit stop that you anyways have to do. Fletcher now comes in for his pit stop, and that should be just fuel only. And Thompson still stays out, so that is definitely going to be much longer middle stint for Thompson. Where is now Foggy? We kind of need to keep an eye on Foggy because he is one of the front runners that we are looking to see where he comes out after everyone else has done their stops. Fletcher, Harold, Palmer, Danes all coming in to get the fuel. Mangan still stays out as well. And let's actually put the pit stops on the screen so we can keep track of who is going in and who is staying out. Meanwhile, we still wait for the Discord issues to get resolved so we can get the guys back on boot. Well, hopefully it sorts out before the end of the race. So Foggy is still leading out of those who have done their second stop. We have battle here between Rose and Anori, but they are on different effective track position really, so this is not going to be too much of a problem for Rose. Same deal behind is Palmer and McCaffrey. And McCaffrey hasn't also done his stop, so this is kind of just costing time for Ben Palmer really, if he cannot get by. But I think he's looking for the inside line, and sorry, that was actually outside line. But makes the move and is able to now proceed with his rest of the Simsport Racing USA comrades. And Thompson still stays out, whereas McLeay and Bibi come in. I'm kind of surprised how long Thompson is going on this middle stint. Because I would expect that the tires shouldn't be a problem based on the Sebring. Sebrings we had small issues in the super hot weather for doing about 2 stints, but of course we are here fuel restricted, so I think 1 hour 45 minutes should be fine on single set of tires. But considering the fuel limitations, it's surprising that he has been able to go so far. Are his lap time? Oh, his lap times are definitely falling off. Last one was only 2 minutes 1 seconds, whereas everyone behind him was lapping much faster. So let's see the times. So last lap times for Thompson definitely much slower than everyone else behind him. So he has to come in for a pit stop. I don't see him staying out anymore. This is just starting to cost him time. Let's see. He's still not near the pit lane. And behind, let's see, that's Warrington and McFarlane now. Again, different strategies here. Warrington just given the space, I think, because he is way behind. McFarlane has done his stop, so there's really no point in Warrington to just hold up McFarlane here. But now I think here we have a good battle that is actually on position. It's Ben Palmer and is that Harrod in front of him? No, that's Ben Palmer and Fletcher actually. And McCaffrey is really the kind of cork in the bottle here between these two guys who are fighting for position, whereas McCaffrey is not really in 12th position after he will be doing his stop. So Fletcher is desperate to get by here because this is just now costing him time. See, can he close in? Not quite. But also McCaffrey does have the draft from Palmer in front, so this is going to be a difficult for Fletcher to deal with until McCaffrey makes his pit stops. And you can really see how McCaffrey is starting to struggle. Maybe the tires are starting to go on that BMW. On the straights is no problem, but you see in the corners how quickly Fletcher is closing in. McCaffrey defending and Fletcher almost running the back of him. That might have given McCaffrey a small scare there, and I think he just now sees that okay, there's no point in racing it. Let's just let Fletcher go and focus on my own race here. Meanwhile, Thompson's still going on, so I don't know, maybe he's just doing one stopper here, who knows. And we do have still nice battles here in the top 20s between that is Gregory Wills and Michael Blake. And out of these, that is actually Wills and Blake who are in actual battle here. Because they will be moving back once... Hey! Thanks Marco. Hopefully the Discord is now up. Let's see, can I get the guys in? Can I actually connect myself? That would be a good start. Well, no luck for me yet, but let's keep trying. So, Palmer, Fletcher, McCaffrey, and now Fletcher is able to make the move for position, or is he? Palmer fighting in, but just have to give in there. So Flater has now been able to split the two Simsport Racing USA guys here. And he's going after Harold next, who is that is about 3 seconds ahead, and Thompson comes in for the pit stop. So that was a really long middle stint for Thompson, and we can expect a really short pit stop here. So who is next on the track? That is Foggy. And this might actually be really close because Foggy has been running much faster lap times for the past few laps. Thompson's previous lap time was 20.0.8 and Foggy was 7 tenths faster, so even if Thompson can take much less fuel, he is still going to be really in danger of losing the gap to Foggy. While we wait for Thompson to come out, here's also this battle still going on between Palmer, and actually that's now Palmer being held up by lap traffic. As John Thompson is still in the pits, I believe that is because he has to be taking the tires. It's over 40 seconds, so yeah, that is definitely the tires that he will be taking. And now this is going to be even closer now. Thompson comes out. Where is McFarlane? McFarlane is on third one. Thompson is all exiting the pit lane. That is going to be really close. McFarlane has the speed, but Thompson just able to get in front. But that is only 9 tenths difference, and now Thompson is on the cold tires, so this might be opportunity for McFarlane to really challenge for the lead. Thompson running wide there, dealing with the lap traffic. McFarlane has a much easier time. Oh, well, almost. And for McFarlane, that last one was the fastest lap of the race, so he's definitely on the pace right now. And closing into Thompson. I think we will have a really nice battle for the race win here. Still behind, there is still battles going on. That's Horder and Shield. I think Shield might be having some issues because he is kind of full. It seemed like he was almost letting Horder by. But they are fighting for a position, so maybe he's just playing it safe, I don't know. But that is actually up 25 positions for a Shield since the start, so even if he's playing it safe, he's definitely playing it smart, I think. As we also have Varmi and Underhill coming to take their pit stops. So, only 25 minutes ago. It's basically the final sprint here. As we get a whole bunch of cars here. There's Beard, McLay, Gaffrey, Bibi. Both of these Renwell Fitzai cars here. As Gaffrey finally makes his stop. And we are getting close back to the actual racing order here. Lesser has kind of run away from these guys, but now we still got McLay leading this back. And is that a slowdown? That is a slowdown for... Sure, it was Beard? It looked like Beard. At least he was losing position, and that is Ben Palmer coming in and take the position. Hanging here side by side, Beard is able to get the inside line, but that might allow Palmer to get the cut back. Now, does he have enough speed to get alongside? He does, and is able to get the position coming into the braking zone. We are still looking for a cutback. let's go on board behind that flame-throwing McLaren. And yes, unfortunately the Discord is still down. But let's keep our fingers crossed that it comes back so we can at least get some interviews. Because it would be very difficult to get the interviews otherwise. We're just falling back slightly here. Yeah, it might be because it just depends on the location on whether the Discord is up for you or not. Perhaps there is less users in Finland. So maybe it works there, but it's just not working in Germany at the moment, unfortunately. Oh. Did we just see... Okay, I'm completely confused. Did we just see a move for that race lead, or am I completely imagining this? Well, Foggy is in the lead. It must have happened while I was looking at the Discord. So now Thompson is starting to really fall back. Again, half a second slower than previous lap time. Yeah. Good point, Marco. And this is kind of why I don't usually do the commentary, because I'm too busy watching the buttons and everything that I kind of tend to miss the overtakes. But now, yeah, Thompson is coming under attack from McLaren, who is also half a second faster, and so I'm not sure what is going on with Thompson. Is the car just not working in the current weather? So let's take a look at what's the conditions like. It is still fairly cool, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue. And also Thompson now has the new tires, so I wouldn't expect him to have any tire issues at least, so maybe he's just not as comfortable with the current conditions. But he is actually losing a lot of time behind this that car, I believe. Let's stay. Who is that? It was Pan. But that cost him a lot of time. Of course, his previous lap time, well, was fast. Yeah, good point, Marco. Who just said on the chat that it does take a couple of times to warm the tires, so that might be what Thompson was kind of having to deal with there. Because right now it seems like the latest sector times from Thompson have been really fast. I think, as we can see even on this screen here, the gap is starting to open up again. But it is 2 seconds that he is down to Foggy, so does he have enough time to really make the time up? We will have to see. He is closing in slightly, but he really has to push if he wants to catch up. The time is starting to run. It's only 20 minutes remaining. And McFarlane is in the draft. So he is able to keep up with Thompson. But Thompson is not able to make a benefit from the draft here from Foggy, because that is just too far. We have some issues for John Roberts. I see him going on and off the track. That is just clipping the grass here. Oh, hard hit. That might be just race over for him. Let's see, is the steering okay? No, that is not. I don't think he can continue out like that. Well, he is trying, so. But that is kind of sketchy there. I don't think I would want to drive his car. So, back to the battle for the second position. McLaren has been able to close up the gap again, and now Foggy has actually been able to increase gap, so this is going to be really interesting for the, I think, the whole podium, because now if Thompson would be able to find a few time, he would be also be able to pull McLaren with him and basically make a three-way battle for the lead. And I think McLaren might be just taking it a bit more cautiously here, because I would assume that he would also rather battle for the win rather than just for the second place, as they are again deal with the lap traffic. No issues there. McLaren has to take a slightly tighter entry, but I don't think that is going to cost him too much time there. Meanwhile, behind these guys, we still have a good battle here for the 6th place between Harrod and Fletcher. Fletcher has basically been up on the pace since he was able to overtake Palmer, and has been kind of hanging on the back of Harrod here. But does he have enough pace to really make the move? As we see McLaren posting the fastest lap of the race. This might be actually close enough to make a move here. It is in the window, but just not close enough. Good exit. Little bit of twitch there. Fletcher closing in. Oh, a little bit loose on the entry, but still was able to hang on to it and close in again. And just 2.5 tenths there. Take a wide entry, much different lines between these guys. Very good exit from Fletcher, and this might actually be his best opportunity to make the pass here. 1 tenth, and I would expect him to make a move. He's trying to go to the outside as Harrod is defending the inside line. Gets a little bit loose there. Harrod still defending the inside line. Fletcher going for the cutback. Doesn't just get good enough exit. But in the draft is able to recover just slightly. But the next one is not really an overtaking spot, and now we get into the section where you cannot really make a pass until the long straight. So now he gonna has to wait and prepare, set up the pass, try to hang on here. But it really doesn't look like Fletcher's car is that comfortable with the fast switches of direction. Let's see, how does Harrod's car handle? Also very loose. So I think this is just gonna be a battle of who is able to hang on to their car for the longest. And right behind these guys there's also this Renwell Fishstyle Motorsport pack. And hurrah, I think we have a Discord. Yes, we have Discord, and now we just need also the UK to come back online. And as I get distracted by sorting out Discord, now the battle for the lead is starting to heat up. That is Foggy, and he has approached lap traffic, and this might be why Josh Thompson is been able to close in. Martin, this is the only race because tonight we are running in endurance race format, so this is the one and only race that we have on the World GT. The other format where we have multiple races, they are much shorter. So then we would have multiple heat races basically. As Josh Thompson takes the lead here. Foggy already falling down 1 second. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. And if you miss the start, you can just after race rewind back and make sure to catch it as well. Thompson is opening up the gap very rapidly. That is 1.5 seconds, but now his internet connection is going down. So it looks like we are not the only ones having technical issues here on the booth. Let's hope that Thompson's internet stays up, because that's not the way we want to see the lead battle being decided. And where is McFarlane? Because he was very close to Thompson, so he is closing into Foggy, but what is Foggy perhaps having to save fuel? Because his previous lap time was very slow. Let's see what does his current sector times. His current sector times are not that amazing either. 2 tenths down on first sector. Again, 2 tenths down on second sector. So for some reason it seems he is struggling a little bit, and that is really allowing McFarlane to close in. And I think if Foggy isn't able to pick up the pace or find out what is actually happening there, I think it's only a matter of time until McFarlane is kind of at least going for the move. But for now, I think he is going to just stay back and look for a place. But you can really see how McFarlane is closing in on the brake, so maybe Foggy is saving fuel on the corner entries. See, do we have any battles outside the top points paying positions? Let's see, here is... well, here's one. That's a battle for 32nd place between Dean Timms and Michael Blake. There's Blake on his Beamer, closing into the Britex Sports Mercedes. And that is actually 2 Mercedes. One of them is lap down. But that was a move for the position. So Blake gets the 32nd position. Now who was that actually on the another Britex? That was it Groter? Or was it Freight? No, that is... it was Chris Danes. Yeah, exactly. So Danes was actually ahead there. And it's again close for the second place, and actually it's not close anymore, because that is McFarlane past Foggy for the second place. And we also have a change for the third place. That is Mangan going past Christian Rose, and Rose is... what actually happened to Rose? This is much earlier, so there's some issue here. Yeah, spinning on the old turn 1. So this now allows Mangan to get by. It looks like the tires are starting to come off. And right behind these guys there's also this battle between Harrod and Fletcher. Fletcher has... yeah, exactly, Alex. He outed. I know that specific move because I did it multiple times during the last weekend Sebring 12 hours. It just... once it lets go, it goes and there's no catching it. Of course, unless you're a better driver than me, then maybe. But Fletcher definitely wants to show that he is better driver than Harrod. Oh, and do we have Andrew Woodhouse back?
Hello.
Hello, hello. We've been kind of lonely here in the commentary booth.
For how long?
I think maybe... was it 20 minutes or 15 minutes?
Ah. Okay, well, we're back, yeah.
Yeah,
Back.
you missed a lot of action here in the top 5.
Well, I saw it all.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to Adam about it. I can't hear Adam now. Where's Adam?
I think he's gone. It's just Discord issues.
Okay, well, are we still live? Are we still good?
Yes, we are live.
Right, where we go? Well, I was here. I was watching him. I was talking to him about it. So there must be some major issues going on. I'm not sure. I was just talking to him about 30 seconds ago. But there you go. Anyway.
Well,
So
I'll leave you to it.
Thank you. we got Harrod. Well, we still got this battle anyway. I was saying before that. I don't know if anybody heard what I said then in that case, but I was saying before that Harrod and Fletcher have been battling for 15 to 20 minutes. And here we go, and this is going to be the one. This might be the one for Fletcher. He's up the inside through Club. Oh, he pushes him out. Oh, lovely. Great move by Fletcher. Excellent move. He just ran a tiny bit wide, did Harrod. Fletcher sided up the inside through the final corner. Beautiful stuff. Really excellent driving there. 6 minutes to go on the iRacing Esports Network. This is season 7 of the World GT Championship. Andrew Woodhouse, Sam Cooper on the cameras. Adam Bath hopefully will join us again before the end, but it's yeah, terrific stuff out there. Then this hour and 45-minute endurance battle. Josh Thompson leads the way by 3.5 seconds over Ross McFarlane, and then it's Nicole Foggy. And then now we've got a scrap between Mangan and Rose. Now Rose has got back to Oscar Mangan. He's not giving up without a fight. Sideways goes the Irishman through Cop's corner. Brilliant stuff. And Christian Rose, the man who he's fought for the championship before in the Ferrari a couple of seasons ago. Now in the Audi and now flying along in 5th place, and he's got that slipstream off the McLaren. The drivers can really take the gloves off now. They can fight hard in the late going. Oh, and Mangan didn't get the entry right, and Rhodes very nearly smashes it. Got the lights blazing now. Full headlights on in that Audi R8. Trying to hunt down Mangan. He's done a great job so far in the championship. He's up to 11th place. Driving a couple of bad rounds.
I think we might have Andrew Woodhouse back.
I think we might have Adam Bath back.
Have I been the one that's been away?
Well, we don't know.
Okay, I've been talking to myself.
Well,
Ah.
so yeah. So what happened is we were talking, and then you disappeared, and then I was talking to Sam. He thought I disappeared, and then I thought you disappeared. It turns out you did. So we're back. Oh, what's that off? Off goes Palmer. Oh, Ben Palmer. He's in the gravel, and that's down at Stoke Corner.
That's a big one. I think he's quite happy there's a gravel trap there.
What a huge spin. We've not seen anybody in that go that far in.
But 360 degree, maybe even double that. There's plenty of spinning going on there. And Palmer's come into the pits as a result of that.
Wow. Can we get that on the screen, Sam? I wonder if we can. I wonder if we can see what happened. Here we go, Adam. Talk us through it.
There we go. So the McLaren's on the outside. Gets on the brakes. Oh! It's remarkable, really. It's almost if he gets on the brakes, the car moves to the left, and then he gets on the grass and then spins the car around.
Oh, so
Fortunately, it doesn't hit anything.
Similar to was it similar to the one we saw earlier on in the race down at Vale?
Similar to what Oscar Mangan did, yeah. Very similar to that. I know he's.
That's the same result, and
oh, Foggy's in the pits.
In the pits. Well. Don't tell me he's run out of fuel. He's not got enough left, and he's had a splashing dash. Oh.
The revs are fluctuating, but I think that's just the bumpiness of the pit lane. I don't think he's.
I really hope that we've stood in that pit lane. It doesn't seem bumpy at all, does it? But then we're not travelling at 50 miles an hour down there.
Very quick stop.
Oh wow!
And away he goes.
Splash and dash. Did Palmer get back out?
He did, yeah. He was just leaving as Foggy came into his box.
I wonder if he broke the suspension, you know. I wonder if that's why he had to come in. But
change of underwear, maybe.
That puts Oscar Mangan on the podium then. It looks a fairly secure podium. He's trying to get second place from Ross McFarlane as well. We've got 3 wide here for 23rd place. That's Macaulay, Bunn and Agius. And Dan Macaulay, whose race didn't start very well, finishes in great style, it looks like, by getting through on Matt Bunn.
Fights everywhere you look. This is the fight for positions in the Pro-Am category. The yellow numbers.
Yeah.
And Matt Bunn, who's had a fairly atrocious race as he usually does on occasion. And here he is now fighting away with Dan Macaulay, who I also met at that 24-hour karting race. So a few familiar names here going at it into Magnus and Beckett's in the closing stages.
Did you crash into him as well?
I don't think I annoyed these lot too much. I think I didn't. He was on Josh Thompson's team, Macaulay, and I don't think I wound up him, but I did annoy Josh Thompson quite a lot.
Yeah, probably deserved it. Stephen McCaffrey is leading the AM category at the moment. He's up in 17th place, 2 places ahead of Tom Jacobs. And this is going to be the final lap, Adam, and it's been a fun race, this one. Oh! Little bit of the Gregory.
Oh.
He's trying to get through on McCaffrey, and that's a good battle going on. It's virtually over at the front, Adam. It's 3 seconds. But he's still got to negotiate that final lap, and as we saw for Foggy, well, incidents can happen, things can go wrong.
And now a bit of the bubbly is at stake, isn't it? Because of Foggy's untimely demise, it's either going to be a McLaren or an Audi that completes the podium.
That's it. Mangan or Rose. Well, they haven't shut the pubs in England yet. They have in Ireland, so Mangan might be have needed more bubbly than I
think they're
Rose
about to.
But Rose, English, Czech, dual nationality.
Oh, Mangan going straight over to the inside.
Oh, he's Petroving. He's Petroving massively, isn't he? Well, it's Hamiltoning, isn't it? Not Petroving.
Oh, off!
Oh, what's happened?
It's Bunn. It's spun again.
Oh,
no. Dear.
I thought that was Thompson for a second. I saw BMW, and I thought, my God, not again for Josh Thompson. We've seen that before. But here we go, Adam. Thompson's going to come and take the win. He's just got the last sector to go.
Well, what a race it's been for him. I don't think we've seen as dominant a drive from Thompson. We usually see him do well in the sprint races. Everything has come together for him in this Enduro. He's pretty much led from the get-go. I think only a few other cars have taken over the lead once or twice when he's come into the pits. And here we go. He's going to come into the final complex and take a thoroughly deserved win here at Silverstone.
Well, the home of British motorsport is going to see a win for the Williams BMW, and Josh Thompson is going to take it. Brilliant performance in the Enduro, round 11 of the season, and it goes to the man from the Isle of Man, and McFarlane in second. And who's going to get the bubbly? Fastest lap for McFarlane on the final lap. Is Mangan going to get the bubbly, Adam, or is it going to be Rose?
Bronze medal at stake as well. That was a good exit by Mangan. Rose, someone's off in the background. No way through there into Vale. It's going to have to be latest of late moves for Rose, and I don't think he's going to do it. It's going to be some bubbly and a final spot on the podium for Oscar Mangan, with Christian Rose coming home in 4th.
Former teammate of ours at Apex. Good result for Mangan. Rose in 4th, and then Foggy. Oh, Fletcher! Fletcher's got ahead of Foggy, has he?
Oh no, Foggy's out of fuel again.
Not again! Oh dear. Well,
So he comes in.
Fuel me once, shame on you. Fuel you twice, and that happens.
Oh dear,
Or forget
dear.
to fuel you twice, maybe. I don't know.
He hits the wall for good measure
Well, I
afterwards.
think that's the racing equivalent, the sim racing equivalent of a face palm, isn't it? Beard is going to come home in 10th place. Beard's going to win the Pro-Am category. Brilliant stuff by Ash Beard. Warmingham, then it's Underhill. Danes, Freitas, Horder, Shield, and look at McCaffrey ahead of Gregory, and then what a performance by Stephen McCaffrey. The AM driver put in the lowest category, and he's going to win it on what I believe is his first race of the season. Stephen McCaffrey, he rounds Club Corner, and the man who drives for Oriental Esports takes it here, takes the category win. Tom Jacobs is going to get 2nd place in that one as well.
Great drive. That was great to watch by McCaffrey there. Here comes Tom Jacobs. He's going to finish 2nd in that category.
He'll be happy about that, I'm sure. Race is over. Everybody has crossed the line. Great victory for Thompson. Fantastic stuff. And McFarlane battled to 2nd on the pole sitter. He did everything he humanly could. Tried some different strategy, but it was Thompson in the end who we had that consistent pace all the way through.
It was very close after qualifying, but once the race got going, was able to carry on from there. And we do have the results graphics for you this week. So
Mark Fletcher, as you see there, the championship leader, did get 5th place, and I think we both did see the movie pulled on Pete Harrod in the final corner, but yeah, only one of us could call it. I'd be interested to see which one it was.
It's probably you. And yeah, of course, massive points for Josh Thompson, because of course we've had 2 races here. You get your points at halfway, and then you get the points again when the checkered flag comes out. Ross
got the points, didn't he, for halfway? So good. It was a good start for him, at least.
So really review that finishing order then. It is Josh Thompson that wins the Enduro here at Silverstone. 2.6 seconds ahead of Ross McFarlane in the end, who set the fastest lap of the race when he crossed the line. I don't think they dish out points for that, but I could be wrong. Oscar Mangan completes the podium. Isle of Man, Scotland, and Ireland on the podium there. So great job by those. Christian Rose finishing in 4th. 5th place for Mark Fletcher. Then Pete Harrod 6th. Nicole Foggy and George McClay, 2 Scotsmen there, 7th and 8th. And then George McClay's teammate Lewis Bibby, who spent the whole race pretty much toing and froing between those two, in 9th. And Ash Beard, Pro-Am car inside the top 10 overall. Decent effort there. Rich Warmingham 11th, 12th for Simon Underhill, then 13th for Chris Danes, 14th for Miguel Freitas, Mike Horder in 15th. Andy Shield, good result for the Sim Sports Racing USA car there, in 16th. 17th for Stephen McCaffrey, taking home the honours, and then Ben Gregory 18th. 19th place for Tom Jacobs. Simon Field after that. Fraser Smith in 21st place in his Britec Simsport Cup. And then 22nd, Ethan Bass. Dan McCauley in 23rd. John Agers 24th. There's Ben Palmer. Spin late on for him. 25th. And Adam Hedgecott. Matt Bunn spinning again late on. Steve Burke, Harry Wills, Lars Van Rijn, Dennis Melcher up 1 lap down. A lot of cars 1 lap down here today. Michael Blake, Dean Timms, Chris Coughlin, Carl Jacquelet 2 laps down in his Year 1 racing car. Mel Crofer finishing in 36th place. 37th for John Roberts, then Matt Draycott, Barry Baird, Carl Hardy completing the top 40, then Nathan Dixon, Craig Jones, Pete Newman in the CQR P&M car. and then Jake Blackhall, Morgan Butler in 45th, Mike Gray in 46th place, and then Nick Madsen, the Dane, was off very early on. Michael Evdocker, Mark Woodhausen, Bolland completing the finishes today. Kevin Bolland finishing last for Oriental Esports, while Stephen McCaffrey puts in one of the drives of the race to take home the AM honours.
I think, just to be fair to him, though, he didn't take the start, and I'll explain why.
Ah, there we go.
Well, it's been a pleasure as usual, Adam, and we've got the most likely going to have some people waiting to talk to us. I'm just having a look to see if we've got anyone at the moment when Discord stops being a useless object. And we're gonna get. We didn't speak to him last week, so we might as well get him in this week. And Adam's found Josh Thompson.
Oh, Josh, well done on the win.
Cheers, mate.
It was a pretty interesting race for you, BMW versus McLaren at the start, and you were able to make the strategy work to perfection there, even though you had to get past Foggy at the end, and I think he even threw you a bit of a helping hand there with the slowdown too.
Yeah, somehow managed to pull the strategy. I was a bit worried, like whether or not to take tyres with a new tyre model. Obviously didn't take them in the first in, and with 30 minutes left, by the time the tyre warms up, is it worth it? Went for it, and lucky enough, I came out of the pitch just close enough and just out of Ross. And yeah, lucky Foggy made a mistake. I had to fuel save a bit as well, so it could have gone anyone's way, I reckon.
Once he got past Foggy, were you worried about fuel at all? He had to come into the pits for fuel at the end, and even then he couldn't get across the line before running out.
To be honest, I did a lot of it when I came out the pits while I was on cold tyres. Once the tyres started to heat up, it was a bit easier to manage. But as you saw, like trying to get through traffic whilst lifting, coasting on cold tyre, it was nearly impossible. The amount of times I nearly threw it off. But just once I got to the lead, it was just managing that fuel the entire time.
Even though it is quite a wide circuit, is Silverstone quite tough when it comes to getting through the lap traffic, especially in these Enduros, which we don't do too often in this series?
It's not too bad. Obviously, it's game over if you get to the last sector. That's the main Achilles heel, because it's single file, you're not going to make it too wide. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had a few hairy moments of some not seeing me go for a move and stuff, but it was just, you had to get on with it this track. Especially with being always on alternative strategies with fuel and tyres. Every second counted.
And how's that BMW going out there? It looks like it's becoming quite a force this season.
That was probably the best drive I've done in that car. The car in practice was nowhere near. I was nearly swapping to the Audi this week. Did some testing before the race and was 1.5 seconds faster than the Audi. Hey. So yeah, the BMW was the slowest car this week. Wow. So somehow I managed to get around there. So I can't really complain.
You must have forgot to put fuel in, mate.
I know, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, to me that was the best drive I've done, most consistent drive I've done in World GT ever. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Next week then, we go back to the sprint races and we go to Road America.
Haha.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, thoughts on that one, if that didn't give it away at all.
God, it was already bad enough here. The cars obviously had downforce taken off it. So obviously, any advantage it used to have in high-speed corners is now gone. Low speed, it's still quite good with traction, but it's still 5k's down in a straight line with the backers and stuff like the end of a long straight. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with some black magic or something there and come up with a good setup for it.
There we go. Before we let you go, Josh, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, so thank you to you guys for everything, like for the broadcasting, all the admins, and yeah, everyone at Williams Esports and everyone at Craig Setup Shop as well for providing the setup for this race.
Cool. Well, we were talking about the karting 24 hours from last year during the show. I don't think I wound you up too much in that one. I think there was a moment where I might have been holding you up.
I was forget about that.
Yeah, I was holding someone up. Yeah.
Got them with two things, but never mind that.
Yeah. Well done, Josh, today, and yeah, hopefully we'll speak to you again next week at Road America.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Josh Thompson there, and yeah, great drive. someone else who battled hard out there today was Christian Rose. Christian, can you hear us first of all?
Yep, have you got a copy?
Yes, and well, he started on the front row. The first didn't look like it was difficult, but then it looked like as the race went on, you really found that pace back in the Audi, and you were challenging hard at the end.
My race was defined by 2 mistakes, which in a 1 hour 45 minute race shows you how competitive it is at the front of this championship. Yeah, didn't get the greatest of starts, and then picked up a slowdown in the first 5 laps. It dropped me back to P10, so it was always an uphill battle. Changed a bit strategy-wise for the second stint. Managed to claw back some time, and then with a few laps to go, having a half spin at Cops. Eventually cost me a podium position, but I can't really complain too much of 4th position.
Yeah, 4th place after an hour and 45 is a pretty good day's work. You know, completing Grand Prix distance around here pretty much. How did the Audi go out there? Was it doing all right? Because it looked like you were the only one really in that car who got it hooked up today.
It was very weird. When I started practice, I was all over the show. I was very much like Felipe Massa in 2008 at the British Grand Prix to begin with.
Oh, that's a nice little segue, because we did mention that during the coverage, so there you go.
But I managed to find something within the ride height that really helped me have some confidence with the rear of the car, which meant I could push it a bit harder. It was a bit of a going into the unknown with how the tyres would react with the changes they made regarding the tyre wear, but I'm fairly pleased.
Good, and heading to next week, Road America. Then, what do you think? Is that going to suit your car? Is it a track that you enjoy?
It's a good circuit. I've had some good races there in the past in different categories. I haven't driven the Audi there. I'm probably not going to get a chance till next Monday. So, yeah, it's just going to be a case of rock up and see how we.
All right. Well, well done today again. Like I said, tough one, but if you can come out of that with P4, that's pretty good indeed. If you want to give some shout outs to your team, to your friends, whoever.
Yep, just a very quick one to everyone within CQR, the league admins, all the series sponsors, yourselves as broadcasters. Thanks very much.
Well, we enjoyed it. We hope we did too, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Take care.
Thank you. Christian Rose there, and the guy who had a terrific race, Adam, was Ash Beard, and you've got him there now.
And we are joined by the Pro-Am victor today, Ash Beard for Year 1 Racing. Ash, well done.
Thank you very much, guys.
Now, how was it out there? Because the Pro-Am category seems to be ultra competitive this year, and you managed to roll the dice with the strategy and end up getting the victory. Talk us through the race.
Well, it started off bad, really, with qualifying because there was a problem in the pits. I hit at the back of Morgan, which was unfortunate, which caused us to both have damage. So it started us low down on the grid, knowing that we'd got good pace. So I thought, if we're going to have any chance in this and keep out of traffic or get overtakes, we need to just go straight through, no tyres, just come in for fuel. So it was kind of a risky one because towards the end Simon was catching, so I was a bit scared of what was coming. But luckily we just held him off.
Were you too worried about the fuel towards the end of the race, or was there plenty left in the tank?
There was plenty in the tank, about an extra lap.
How are you finding things this season? Because I know from when I've been commentating on you before, you've been in the MX5s at the weekend or whatever, and now you're in the GT3 leagues with 50+ car field. What's it been like out there so far this season?
Super duper competitive, but that's like you say, this year's with joining up with year ones, just been trying to get used to the car and stuff like that and get stuck in really. I mean, we've come on as a team leaps and bounds over the past, say, 3-4 months. And I think that's only just going to get improvement with the amount of running that we're putting in each week. So, fingers crossed, this is the beginning.
I guess that racing in the Mazda MX-5 could probably help prepare you for this, especially the sprint races that we have most weeks.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's like it is like going back to the old-fashioned MXR races when we race the sprints, and also it's quite useful racing the Mazda. You get to know what your tyres are doing and stuff like that, so it puts you in good stead.
Well, next week then, Road America for these guys, for you and the rest of the field. Back to 3 20-minute sprint races as well. Looking forward to that one. How's the Merc going to go around there?
I think the Merc, if we get it dialed up, I think there's no problem with it. It's just trying to keep it consistent on the balance side. So you're just constantly wanting that balance. If we can get the balance correct, like we did round Silverstone, I'll be quite looking forward to it because it's quite a good track with some twists and turns and fast kinks.
Well, well done on the win today. Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Year One Racing for letting me join the team. Absolutely fantastic bunch of guys, and we're getting there as a team slowly but surely. I'd like to thank all the sponsors that help us. I'd also like to thank Mark Fletcher as well, because he's been giving us some coaching which has helped us massively over the past few months. And thank you guys for doing the stream, because without you guys we wouldn't get that exposure.
Well, we've thoroughly enjoyed it. Well done on the class victory again, and thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us. We'll hopefully speak to you again at Road America next week.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Well done, Ash.
Cheers, mate.
Right, I think that's pretty much all we've got time for tonight. But it's been a great night's racing, and it's been really something to enjoy amongst some uncertainty and everything else that's going on in the world. But remember, everybody, to stay safe and to, like I say, support one another, because that's what we should be doing and that's what we need to do. And sim racing is just a part of that as well. And if we can help that, then that's only a positive thing going forward. Adam, it's been a pleasure, mate. It's always fun to cover these big, long endurance races, and Road America should be great next time.
Yeah, looking forward to that next week, back to the 20-minute sprint race format. Speaking of the sprint race format, don't forget to tune in onto this very channel on Thursday. We've got a real iRacing damage model on the Audi TCR cars, and we're gonna get set to turn them loose for another season.
Oh my goodness me, I'm so much looking forward to that. Just inject that into my veins. That'll be the vaccine that we need. That's amazing. Right.
Yeah, that's back on Thursday at just after 8 o'clock GMT. So watch out for that.
It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be bits of Audi TCR everywhere, but we're going to be here for it, and we hope you are too, because it's going to be tremendous. So from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath and Sam Kumo, this has been the World GT Championship on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll see you next week at Road America. Good night, everybody.